Hello everyone and welcome to Kryptonite, the crypto investor channel. I'm Boris, so let's dive in. Today I'm with Colton. Hello Colton.
Hey Boris, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the Kryptonite channel, everyone.
All right, so let's look at Cartesi. Cartesi.io is the official page. If you guys want to go check it out, let's go over some of the questions.
Yeah, so my first question for you today, Boris, what is Cartesi? A lot of people don't know what it is. What is the whole point of the project?
All right, so it's very interesting to programmers, but you don't have to be a programmer to understand the conundrum of the current situation in most of the blockchains. One of the main problems with blockchains is it's very difficult to find programmers and they're expensive. So just to give you an example, let's say Ethereum
Yes, sir.
is based on the language called Solidity. And unfortunately, there are only about 200,000 programmers in the world that can program with Solidity. So it's a small pool. And of course, people are trying to steal each other's programmers, trying to give better salaries, so on and so forth, to steal a programmer from another project or whatever. And it's a very small pool to choose from. So the thing about Cartesi, they call themselves the blockchain OS because they rely mainly on Linux. Therefore, you can use pretty much any language to program your Dapps or your smart contracts. So if you want to build a new project, for instance, you could say, let me go with Python. Python has 8.2 million programmers in the world. So you see right there, you have a lot more programmers in Python than you have in Solidity. But if you look at the languages, you see Solidity for Ethereum, Cartesi can do all languages. So if we take all languages, you have 26.8 million programmers in the world, according to State of Developers Nation. 134 times more programmer than you would have for Solidity. So if in any given area, let's say your company is in the US or you're in Europe or whatever, let's say in your area you only have about 100 Solidity programmer, that means in the same region you have about 13,400 programmers of all the other languages. So it's much, much easier to find a programmer. The other thing is a Solidity programmer costs on average $120,000 a year. Most of the other languages on average, they cost about $78,000 a year for the salary. So any projects you want to build, you're going to have a hard time finding programmers and you're going to have to pay them more. And since they're so hard to find, if one is stolen from you by another company, it's going to be very difficult to replace. So just right there, that really tells you how interesting and how useful Cartesi is in the financial sense. So that's really the first point that's very important. The second thing that's very important is Solidity is very limited as a language. There are multiple things you cannot do in Solidity. One of them is string manipulation. And if you're not a programmer, you can understand how important that is to manipulate a string. Let's say you have, somewhere in your application, first name, last name, and you need to reverse that order for some reason. In most programming languages, very easy to reverse, by doing string manipulation. But with Solidity, you cannot. So, and it's just a simple example, but there are many, many other things that Solidity doesn't do. So using Cartesi, being able to create what's called a Linux VM, virtual machine, you can then use any language for all your Dapps and any smart contracts that you want to program. So it's really opening up a world of options for the companies that want to develop applications and develop smart contracts. And then on the top of it, there is scalability. I'll go a little bit more in depth towards the end of the video, but I'll explain a little bit more also what it does and what you can do that you cannot do with Ethereum or most of the other blockchains. So That's what Cartesi is. It's going to be extremely useful for a lot of people and a lot of companies that develop apps, Dapps, basically on blockchains.
So thank you for that information, Boris. My next question for you today is what is the tokenomics of Cartesi?
So, let's look at CoinGecko, for instance. So Cartesi is called CTSI. That's the name of the coin. And basically, as you can see, currently the circulating supply is 604 million, and the total supply is 1 billion. So the thing is, it's an easy number to understand, and we're not talking about like some coins that have hundreds of billions or trillions or whatever. It's just 1 billion. Very simple number. On the all-time high, about close to November last year, it reached 170. For some reason, it shows 144 here, but the truth is that it reached $1.70 at its all-time high, 174 exactly. It was in May 2021. So, of course, it's down quite a bit. It's down about 10 folds as of right now, which makes it also attractive because it is kind of a low price. The other thing that's great with them is they are easy to find. You can find them on pretty much all exchanges. And they just got onto eToro not too long ago, but they are literally on all the big ones: Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin, Crypto.com. I mean, they are just on pretty much all the exchanges, all the major exchanges.
Okay, my next question for you, Boris, is what is going to happen with Cartesi over the next few years?
Obviously, the need to program more and more applications is something that's going to grow more and more. And we're going to see a lot of needs from the programmer side. And the problem is, like I said, Solidity, for instance, but there are other languages, out there for the blockchains. They're just not ready to handle very complex operations, and they're not very scalable. And we see with Matic, for instance, Polygon, that as soon as you bring some solutions to a problem, those coins tend to explode. So to me, it's probably gonna take its time. I mean, the cool thing about Cartesi, they release news all the time. They have a great, they're on Discord, they're on Telegram, and also they release lots of news on Twitter. And probably within the next few years, we're gonna see that coin growing and growing and growing and growing. And so we could see maybe going back to all-time highs within the next year or two, and easily go way beyond that 5 years, 7, 10 years from now. Possibly, we could see as much as, $10 per Cartesi. So at 17 cents right now, it is definitely a great opportunity. And really the thing that I see here is the fact that they have a real purpose. Lots of coins out there, they have zero purpose. They don't bring anything interesting. There is no technology behind it. Those guys bring a real value, and they really bring real utility.
My next question, Boris, I'm just kind of curious here. Can you stake Cartesi, and where's the best place to stake Cartesi?
So you can stake it on a few exchanges like Binance and a few others, but really the best way to stake is on Cartesi itself, which is great because it is more secured. You do it from your own wallet. So it's not your Cartesis are not staying on an exchange. You put them into either a hot wallet or a ledger, Treasure or one of those hardware wallets. And then you can stake it directly on Cartesi. So you have right here the explorer.cartesi.io/pools, and what you do is you connect your wallet at the top, and then you can choose which pool you're going to stake to. Most of them have a commission of about 3.5 up to about 5%, depending on which one. And as you can see, on an annual basis, they are paying right now about 21. Some of them offer less. You can reorder this. 21, 20, 93, 20. So roughly around 21% staking. And they pay regularly, usually every few hours, at the most every few days. You see your numbers growing. You do need Ethereum as gas to stake your Cartesi and to unstake. So it pays kind of a good percentage. I mean, 21% a year. It used to be more. It used to be more along the lines of about 40%. And it's decreasing over time because, like any project, they make it appealing at first to stake by offering a high reward. And then the number is dropping. It'll probably keep on dropping and, probably stabilize, at a very reasonable number, like maybe 5-6%, something like that. But that 21% is probably going to be around, for a little while longer.
Okay, awesome. Okay. My next question for you, Boris, is, and it's really, I think a question that everyone wants to know, should we be buying Cartesi or should we be huddling if we already have Cartesi?
So if you have Cartesi already, I would suggest that you stake.
Okay.
And you keep on growing your stash, all that stuff. This is a long-term play because I think that especially in the current environment and the
market,
all the market suffering, from the a bad first beginning of the year, bad half first of the year. Right now, one of the best things you can do here, if you have Cartesi already, is to hodl, stake, and just keep on growing that thing on automatic without really doing anything else, and let it grow, for the next 2 years or something like that, 2 or 3 years. If you don't have any, this is a potential coin you might want to look at and invest, but that's part of those coins that you're like, you know what, I'm going to put 1%, maybe 2% on a coin like this, not more than this. I wouldn't buy, make it more than 2% of my portfolio.
Yeah.
Because obviously it is a smaller coin. It is only ranking currently as, number 263, out of all the coins in the world. So you don't want to put too much money on something like this, but the potential return is huge because, literally, if it went to $10, you're looking at potentially a 58x. That's really big potentially. So, but like I said, it's a smaller coin, so you don't want to risk too much on something like this. So about 2% of a portfolio to be diversified.
So, well, Boris, you answered my last question. My last question was going to be, what percentage of my portfolio should this be? Boris said it should be 1 to 2%. So from my side, Boris, I don't have any more questions, but feel free to add anything else.
Yeah, the last thing I want to underline is how useful this coin is, because not only does it allow you to build Dapps and to do smart contracts, but it also allows you to do scalability, because since you can put this on a Linux virtual machine, you can put it on almost like a supercomputer, and suddenly those things that you might need to compute, they are computed off, the blockchain. They're not computing by the blockchain, all that stuff. So we're talking about million folds of computational scalability, which is enormous, especially with the fact that we're going to see more and more people building games and building great dApps that are going to need more and more power. And already, without having a large community, crypto is still very small on this worldwide scale, we don't have a billion user, but when you're going to reach a billion, when you're going to reach 3 billion, 5 billion, whatever, users, the problem is that scalability is going to be really important. Already we see all those blockchains having big issues and major slowdowns and sometimes even crashing because they cannot take the amount of work that they have to support. And here, Cartesi solves that problem. So that's why it's going to be extremely important. It's also going to help reduce the high gas fees because it is a layer 2. So if you are, let's say, operating, as an example, on the top of Ethereum, you're going to be able to do what Matic does as well. It's reducing the gas fees by doing all your operations on the layer 2 and then bringing them as one transaction, which you could bring thousands of transactions as one onto the Ethereum blockchain, and therefore reducing really the cost of all that stuff. So, and the last thing that I want to point out is they're still in alpha. So in the world of development, you have alpha, beta, then you have candidate releases, and then you have the finished product, the stable release. So they're still early in their game, but they've been developing for years, but they're still early. But the big thing that they just released is in the current version, and all that stuff can be found, on their information stuff. But they just released their latest version back in June, where now you can do Lua programming, and this is really opening up. Lua is awesome for gaming. It's a gaming language, so they're really opening up to the gaming world, and you're going to be able to do a lot of development and mainly developing games for blockchains, because play to
earn
reward. Sorry,
play to earn,
exactly.
Yeah.
Play to earn is huge, and it's going to become bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're going to need something to take those companies in. Let's say I'm not a huge gamer, but I know like World of Warcraft, and I don't know probably better than I do, what's the most popular game these days?
Oh, right now, I mean, it's
not on play to earn, but just on regular games that people play online.
Yeah, right now, I mean, it's got to be Fortnite, Apex, gun games, but all of that has play to earn. Everything is a battle pass now, so you pay, X amount of money, about $10, and then you earn, little NFTs, little costumes, little designs, little dances, etc. And obviously they partner with LeBron James, The Walking Dead, etc., stuff like that. So probably the biggest games right now is Fortnite, Apex, those type of games, the gun games out there that are, 100 people, and then you just, kill them, and whoever the last one's left is the winner. So,
some of them might already be using Cartesi, and then some other platforms or whatever, let's say an Electronic Arts, or Infograms, they probably want to get into those gaming play to earn, things, and it's going to make their life a lot easier if they can program in C# or in Lua or in Python or whatever language they're using, as opposed to force themselves into Solidity, which is going to limit them tremendously and make their life almost impossible. So that's really the big thing, where Cartesi has a lot to play and really serves a real purpose versus all those other useless coins that have no purpose and they're just a gimme, or they're just a meme coin or something like that. So to me, that's really what I see in Cartesi, and definitely a good low ranked, not too low, because if it was ranked 2,000 or 5,000, I'd say it's just too small. But here, the whole project, as of now, it's a market cap of 107 million. So it's not too small.
Yeah.
But it is a very small one. And, it's one to keep an eye on, and potentially, like I said, invest 1% on something like this, even though this is not financial advice.
Yeah.
But that's what I would look at. I myself own some Cartesi, and they've been staked for a long time. Actually, I've staked them really a long time ago. That's it. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, put a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And thank you, Colton. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to see you on the next Kryptonite video. Thank you. I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.